Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. We have Sami Talks Politics with us again. It's been a while since I've actually had him on. I've actually tried to do a bunch of collabs, but I just decided to not post them because some interesting things were said in some of those collabs. But today, we're going to be serious this time, and hopefully we upload this. Tim Walz versus JD Vance. This is going to be like a scenario where like Donald Trump gets actually I don't even know what happens in this scenario. Uh it's just going to be a fake scenario that's never going to happen. Using the 2024 electoral map. Tim Walz versus JD Vance. Let's get into it. Sami talks politics. You can start us off.
Okay, so kind of just like a base overview of both of the candidates. Tim Walz is one of the most popular Democrats in the entire country. He's the governor of Minnesota, and he has a lot of white working class, a lot of rural appeal as well. And like, yeah, I think he does extremely well in those areas in like the Midwest and the Rust Belt. That is his biggest strength. As for JD Vance, he is the senator from the state of Ohio. He is widely criticized for being Trump's vice president pick because he is a bad candidate. Somewhat objectively, he is extremely unpopular. That was kind of helped by the debate, but not a ton. Really, all the debate did was kind of prove he's just a good debater. So yeah, you can see he's pretty disapproved of compared to Tim Walz, who was extremely approved of. And they both have very similar kind of bases of appeal: white working class, rural, Midwestern, Rust Belt. So this will just be really like a fight for the white working class here. And a lot of the states that aren't in the Rust Belt are going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I
Do you want
mean
to take it away with the first states? Or,
Yeah, and I
or do
mean,
you want to?
let me just say something here. A while ago, like right after JD Vance was chosen as Trump's VP, I mean, there was this poll among his in his own backyard, this Rust Belt Midwestern area of approval of JD Vance, and he did not do well in that poll, which was like really shocking. And I mean, the whole reason why Trump chose him as his running mate is not because he was a good candidate, but because he wasn't like a Mike Pence that might have transferred power in case of like another uh 2020 scenario or something like that. And it totally backfired because then Biden dropped out of the race, sorry, and then Kamala Harris took over. So, let's just get into this. We'll just start with the safe Democratic states as always. California. People say Oregon could be likely, but in this scenario, Tim Walz, I feel like, does a bit better than Kamala Harris. I mean, Kamala Harris does come from the specific region, but I feel like Tim Walz is able to keep it in safe. Uh, Colorado's it's going to be safe. I feel like Tim Walz is just good in this region. Minnesota, it's his home state, man. He's a popular governor. He can probably keep it in safe. Illinois, it's going to be safe. New Jersey. Can you talk about New Jersey for a sec, Sammy?
Okay, so it is slowly shifting to the right. I, there are some rumors that it'll be like under 15 this time around, but I think with Tim Walz, um, I really don't see it being under 15.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I just have a barely likely around 14 points, 13 points in my presidential prediction right now. Tim Walz, I feel like he's able to do better than Kamala Harris by a teeny bit and is able to keep it in safe. Now let's go to safe Republican states. Uh, all of these, I mean, these aren't really a question. I mean, Montana is kind of questionable, but I
I think
just
he could get it covered.
what?
I think Montana and Missouri he could get under 15, alongside your standard likely Republican states.
Yeah, in this scenario, I mean, Kansas is going to be likely. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, Texas, I mean, it's obviously not going to be over 15. Missouri, that's pretty questionable. I mean, Josh Hawley and stuff, but it depends on what year this is. But I feel like if this was in 2024, but I feel like Montana could go likely. Just Missouri, just barely is safe around
I
like.
mean, Missouri's got a lot of Midwest people. It's got a lot of white working class. It's basically perfect for Tim Walz, honestly.
Uh, it's if it was like 15 points, then in 2024, yeah, I would put it in likely. Louisiana, Mississippi. Uh, that's quite questionable. I don't know about Mississippi right there.
This is kind of questionable. It kind of depends who Tim Walz would pick as his VP because
If you pick someone like
Mississippi is
Raphael
just
Warnock, then yeah,
yeah, then that'd be good. Mississippi for Democrats relies a lot on black turnout. Um, that is huge. If it's just Tim Walz, I think it's extremely questionable. But
yeah.
I think it could
Since we're
be.
not doing VPs in this scenario, I'll just put it in safe. Indiana, it's been a long time since Indiana was in like was actually talked about. Actually, I don't even know if Ohio's going to be likely. Wait, oh, actually, I mean no, it's
Ohio
Vance's
could
home
be.
state. I'm gonna put it unlikely. What about Indiana? Could it get into likely?
Hmm, I don't know. I think they've. I don't know. I don't know. They both got very similar bases, but just because Vance is kind of worse at it, um, I think it could be under 15. It was only R plus 16 in 2020 with Pence as VP, with Trump being so good with
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
electoral
And
college.
Pence, obviously, he's from Indiana. I'll put it in likely just for this scenario. Iowa,
Okay.
it might be on borderline lean. I don't know. I don't know. Um,
I don't think it's lean per se, but I think it's like R plus 6. Maybe R
yeah,
plus
R
5
R
is.
R, R plus 6 point something. South Carolina. Again, this kind of depends on black turnout and who Walsh's VP is. But I mean, it's probably gonna go likely. Uh, I mean, I have it literally going likely red right now in my real prediction. And yeah, I'll just put it in likely right there.
Yeah.
Main second. That's could it get into
I think
lean?
it gets. It definitely. I think it definitely does. I think Tim Walz would vastly overperform in New Hampshire and Maine. It's basically like his breeding grounds. You've got a lot of like
Yeah,
white
lots of
people
white working class voters.
who
Let's just get
love the
into
white
like the
people.
likely Democratic states right now. I mean, New Mexico, obviously. Like all of these states that are like likely or lean in my real presidential
I think
prediction, those are gonna go likely.
Nebraska second and Maine at large are like D plus 13, something like that. I think Nebraska's first is
Yeah,
likely.
yeah, yeah. Nebraska's first.
Yeah, because it's only R plus 11 now since they redistricted it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nebraska's first could definitely get into likely. I totally forgot about that. Uh, okay, Alaska. Let's talk about Alaska right now, and then Maine's second. I feel like
Let's
Walls
go.
could do here could do good here as well.
You could do great. You got a lot of split ticket voters. You got a lot of white working class. You got just a lot of white people. A lot of rural voters. Um, I think he could definitely overperform here. The question is it enough to get it to lean, which is a big leap from where I have it going this year, which is around R plus 8. That's about a 3 point shift, which would be necessary. And honestly, I think it's a toss up as to whether it's lean or not. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like those voters that are not satisfied with Vance could definitely push it over the edge into lead. So, I have it lean in this
That's fair. That's
scenario.
fair. Let's do it.
Oh, let's go to like the classic swing states. Actually, no, wait, no. Main second first. Like we said before, it's gonna go lean. Really, same scenario, but obviously it shifts towards Republican for like New Hampshire, and Maine at large. I mean, Walls obviously overperforms here over Harris in these areas, so yeah, it's expected to go into lean, probably by like around 4 points. I mean, yeah. So now let's just go into our classic swing states. I mean, we have Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, and North Carolina. Uh, we'll just start with uh, Wallace's home turf, Wisconsin. Uh, ever since he was chosen as VP, Wisconsin was put into Harris's column, and I feel like in this scenario, Walls will win it by a pretty comfortable margin, around like uh 3 points, 2 points.
I think he wins it by, yeah, if not more. I think he could. this is basically the best swing state where he could like improve in. He could maybe even get it to borderline likely.
Yeah,
I don't think it's likely, but it could get really
yeah,
close, like R plus
definitely.
four.
Oh, obviously now we're gonna move on to like actually. Honestly, I don't know which one is the most blue swing state anymore. Is it Michigan or is it Nevada? I don't know. We'll do
It's
Michigan
Michigan.
first because it's Walls' home turf again. This area, Michigan. I think it could definitely go into likely if Walls really tried. Uh,
Yeah, if he leans into like a progressive agenda, I think he can definitely get it to likely.
yeah, around 5.5, 6. In this scenario, just barely likely. It depends once again on their VP picks. Uh, yeah, but right now, without all of this stuff, I'll just put Walls likely. Michigan. Now let's move on to let's just go to Florida because I want to.
Okay.
Florida. This is gonna be very narrow. I'm putting in lean walls. Obviously, this isn't really a region that he does good in, but it's not exactly a good region for Vance either. So I'll put Florida into lean around like 2.5. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, look, uh, no Republican really has the charisma in places like Florida and Iowa and Ohio that Donald Trump has. And, I think even someone who models a lot of Trump's popularity, like J.D. Vance, couldn't really replicate that. That is something that is that is only for Donald Trump. And I think that I don't even know if like it's even that strong of a state for Vance. I could see it going a different way. I think it's like R plus one, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I'd say like 2.8 to like 1. That's a pretty good margin. I'll just put it in lean, barely, almost to tilt. If Walls tried to campaign here, which I doubt he actually would. I mean, maybe he would, but he might have been able to. He might be able to get it to tilt, or possibly if he really overhauled it in Florida, he could flip it. So
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, let's go to
I
Nevada
think he's
now.
just a bit. I think he's just a bit too progressive for it.
Yeah, for Florida, I mean it's Florida. Tim Walls in Nevada. JD Vance, I feel like she does not have that. I just don't think he has that charisma in somewhere like Nevada to push some extra votes in places like Las Vegas. And obviously, I don't think he's going to be able to get those as much Hispanic voters as Donald Trump can. Oh, I just feel like Vance does not have that kind of magic that Trump has. Walls, he definitely has some parts that are better than Harris. Like, uh, I would definitely vote for him over Harris. I mean, come on, it's Harris. Nevada, I'm putting it in possibly likely blue, lean blue. Uh, honestly,
I think it's
what?
lean.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Sun Belt. Trump does better in this area. I mean, against Harris, but borderline lean likely 4.5. Uh, possibly. What's the margin here?
I don't know, like three and a half, maybe to four. I'm not sure if he really has that appeal. There are a lot of Latinos. I'm not sure if they're really turned on by Vance's specific policies. I think he could pull it to likely, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it obviously still depends on his VP. Okay, let's
Yeah.
see what else we're gonna do here. There's Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas. We'll just go to Texas. Uh, again, really same thing with Florida. Walls does not have that policy appeal. Vance, obviously he does, but mm, Vance he just
Let me
what?
I'll say, I I think Texas definitely votes to the left of Florida here. With Florida, when you're dealing with progressive candidates, there's certain bases that like are just not going to appeal to them. You've got the old retirees that are in Key West that obviously are against anyone that's like left of Barack Obama, and they rejected Biden. They're going to reject Harris and Walls this time. Same goes for the Cuban voters. In Texas, you don't really have that. You have a lot of young people in places like Houston and Austin and Dallas, and you've got a lot of Latino voters who aren't necessarily exactly like the Latino voters in Florida. They're more Mexican than Cuban, and I think that he wouldn't completely collapse with Latinos there. Couple that with possibly increased black turnout, depending on who he picks as VP, and I think he probably gets it to tilt. Honestly, IMO.
Tilt red. Oh, that's very interesting. Tilt red Texas. If honestly,
So
I
like
do agree with that.
24
Maybe
to
like
prediction.
around 0.8. But now that I'm thinking, I think I would move Ohio. I mean, sorry, Iowa to lean now.
That's
Not gonna
valid.
lie.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. That's basically done with all of these states. I mean, Walt is about to win. He has 257. Vance has 219. Let's go to Georgia now. Let's do one of these or another Sun Belt state. Walls, I mean, if Texas is still, he obviously wins it. But then again, by how much? Then again, does he choose Warnock as VP? If he chooses Warnock as VP, it is quite possible that he gets Georgia to likely blue. But then obviously this scenario doesn't have VPs. I'll put Georgia in lean, maybe by 3 points. But then if he chooses Warnock, he could get Georgia to like 6 points.
yeah. So honestly, I think Warnock is quite possibly the most underrated possible VP pick in the future. I think the best possible Democratic ticket in 2028 is Gretchen Whitmer, who is pretty similar to JD Vance, honestly, except she's a woman, and Raphael Warnock. So you're almost getting that like that perfect ticket with a Walls
Did you
Warnock.
just say that Gretchen Whitmer's similar to JD Vance?
No, I said she's. Did I say she's similar to Vance?
Yeah.
I meant similar to Walls.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
policy
thought.
wise.
Oh, that would have been crazy if you said that if she was like JD Vance. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Georgia
I
is
think
a
it's like
lean.
D plus three, D plus two, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh, I mean Walls has one, but let's just finish this map. Three more states. Let's go to Pennsylvania. Same Rust Belt area where Wallace obviously prevails in. I feel like Vance could do a bit better in some of these areas. And then again, Walls does not have that Scranton, Pennsylvania thing. But he's still not. But it's not like he's from California. So she definitely wins. Pennsylvania. Is definitely by a lean margin. Uh, I don't know about likely. I'd say it's around Wisconsin stuff. But Pennsylvania definitely a bit more left than Wisconsin in this scenario. I'd say 2.5. No, sorry, 3.5 points to 4 for Walls.
Yeah. So like I agree. I think of the three Rust Belt states, the three like top like upper Rust Belt states, uh, Vance would definitely do the best here. It's just closer culturally to Ohio than like Minnesota ever is. Minnesota shares that more like Midwest type culture with a state like Wisconsin and Iowa compared to a state like Pennsylvania. And I think Vance could like campaign here way more than the others. I think Walls would still definitely win it, but I do not think it would be such by like such an advanced margin like in Wisconsin or Michigan, like Obama numbers. I think it's like D plus two and a half, maybe D plus three, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, North Carolina. Here's a question: is it to the left of Georgia or to the right of Georgia? Uh, I'll actually let you talk about this
So that's a very an interesting topic of discussion. It is a topic of discussion that I am trying to grapple with my own current prediction. Um, but looking at how Walz differs from Kamala, and how Vance differs from Trump. Um, Obviously, Walz doesn't have that black appeal that Harris does. But I gotta go. I gotta go.
All right, all right, all right. North Carolina. Lean blue, lean blue. Just barely, probably up by
Mm-hmm.
1.5 for Walls. And I mean, pretty expected there is. Well, I mean, Trump won this state in 2020, so North Carolina, it's gonna go blue. Maybe by tilt, but that's if like Walls is not that good here. Arizona, Arizona. So last state. Let's just get this over with. The lean blue. Really same stuff with Nevada. Wallace doesn't exactly have good policy appeal here. No, Vance might have a bit, but I mean Arizona, it's gonna go blue either way. Lean blue, maybe like North Carolina, a bit to the left of North Carolina. 2 points. So that is the end of this scenario video. I hope you enjoyed it. So why is Nebraska likely? Let me change that to safe. So there. That's the end of today's video. Tim Wells at 319, JD Vance at 219. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.